Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and this is a flip through of my collage journal. I finished it today, and I'm so excited to share it with you. This journal measures, let's see, about 8 3/4 inches tall, 6 inches wide. She did get quite fluffy. So when I take this tie off, I hated to put a tie on because I didn't want to cover up the beautiful cover. I was real happy with my collage work, but it really needed a tie because when I take it off, it just kind of blows up. But there's nothing I would have left out of this. The cover is a piece of cardstock collaged on both sides with digital papers and dictionary pages. The tie is a piece of scarf I got from the thrift store, and I actually cut the end piece off, and you can see this is quite large. I cut the end with the fringe off and kind of folded it over on itself, ran it through the sewing machine, and then stitched another piece of trim onto it to kind of make this fun tie. And I like how that came out. I'm going to put that to the side. And here's my collaged cover. There is a full video series on this. I'll try to link it in the description down below. I added some charms to the bookbinding thread. I got a flower and a key. And I used some different trims on the cover. I wrapped those all the way around. Just to add a little something extra. Even though I loved the collage work, I felt like it was just a little bit plain. I used quite a few printables from my shop in this journal, and you can find links to all of those in the description down below. And let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So let me give you one more view. There's the top and the side. I got a whole bag of vintage lace trim on a road trip last week. I'm super excited about being able to use all these trims in this journal. So the front inside cover, all the inside is covered with English to Italian dictionary pages. And I made this cute little notebook. I have a cluster on the front, and I did leave it so if I wanted to tuck something else in there, I can. I'm not sure if I will. And then the inside is kind of a funky hodgepodge notebook. I just put some coffee dyed paper in here to give myself a little bit of writing space, and I thought it was kind of fun take on a notebook. And there is a second pocket here if I want to put something else in there later. This is some of my flower collage paper. And I had some leftover yellow dyed paper from my bee journal, and I just used a couple stamps to make it a little more interesting instead of just a plain page, while still preserving a lot of writing space. And same thing on this side. Here's some school paper that is sewn into my journal. I did use, again, stamps. I used a lot of stamps in this. I also picked up a lot of stamps over the last couple weeks, so that was fun to work with. This is a post-it note and one of my fussy cuts. And I have one of my collage cards in there. It's a sheet from the vintage collage set. Same thing on the other side. This button, I got a set of buttons. There's a few more. This was the best one. They are plastic, but I couldn't leave them at the thrift store. They were a lot of fun, and I love how that looks. It's so organic, and I don't know, I've never seen anything like that button. This journaling card is a combination of one of the vintage collage cards and a piece of coffee dyed paper. Just layered them up, put some vintage binding ribbon on the top of that, and then added a fake wax seal with some little cute pink flowers in there, one of the words from my inspirational clusters kit, and a little bit of cheesecloth just to finish that off. And I thought that came out really cute. And this is burlap, some dark brown burlap. Here I had a lot of fun with stamps, just a piece of coffee dyed paper. I rounded the corners, made a little journaling space with that. Got kind of a little in and out moment. This folds over. This is one large page, so I've got my lady here on my collage digital, and then flipping this way, there's the bird. I really like how that turned out. A little bit of lace. So there's a couple little surprises there. More writing space. And this is one of my collaged pockets from one of my previous videos. And I tucked a card, this is one of the vintage collage cards, as well as this bookmark I made. some of the flowers from my book that I'm tearing apart. And this is a crossword puzzle page from a book of crossword puzzles I stole from my sister last week. She had a whole box of them, and there's some notebook paper on the back. Just so there's some writing space there. I saw this big box of old crossword puzzle books up in her bonus room, and I was like, can I take one of these? I'm gonna tear it apart. I did quite a few decorative scissor edges. This is one of them, kind of a little pinked edge. More flower pictures with a little bit of graph paper. I really like this graph paper. It's very bold compared to some other graph papers. And then here I have one of my clusters. This one has a charm hanging, a little music theme going on with the paper and the charm. And all I did was turn that into a tuck. Let me turn that just so you can see a little better. And I tucked another piece of notebook paper in there just to have a place to tuck a little note away or a memory or whatever I decide to do. The other side of that, more of the floral collage paper and some yellow dyed paper. This got out of control. I'm not sure what happened here. I've got some glitter cardstock and flowers from my book and some of the binding ribbon and then a tab and I made a little cluster with a button, and then I left myself some writing space on the back. And either I didn't know when to stop or I didn't go far enough. I'm not sure. But it's fun and it makes me smile. So I call that successful. This is part of that Smash book that everyone told me to take apart, and I worked a page of that in here. Another little flip open with some flowers. This is a window envelope. I added some of my collage masterboard on the top of that, and I've got a couple little things tucked in here. One of my Lightbox letters, the letter A, just because, I don't know, my name is April. I like the letter A. And then one of my viewers, I have to go and look and see who, I'm going to give you a shout out down below. One of my viewers said, put a button in the coin collection pouches, and that was just the most amazing idea. I had picked up a bunch of used coin collectors cases and I didn't know what to do with them. They had staples in them already. I had a little washi tape, popped a button in there, and I'm super excited about that. You're going to see a lot of that. It's my new favorite idea. This is some text from the flower book, some stamps. I just kind of went all out on that. And then this is a window in the envelope. I preserved that. And I'll flip this over. And I made a little card to go in there using the crossword puzzle book, some washi tape, all kinds of little goodies. I really collaged the heck out of this journal. It is my collage journal. This is just a little piece of vintage ledger paper that I purchased from it. It was a kit, a pack from Amazon, and a couple of stamps and more of the ribbon from the bag of ribbon that I got. And here we've got kind of a flip-flop moment. This is the whole page. So lots of writing space there. And then I put a piece of collage board, masterboard paper. I just did a strip, and then I made a tab at the top so I could have a tuck. And this was a little scrap of leftover notebook paper, and I thought it would be really cute tucked up in there. Flipping over, some more writing space. And then I've got a couple things tucked into this side tuck. I've got this bird coaster, I think it is. It came in a grab bag from the thrift store. More text from my flower book, and another piece of that fun vintage ephemera. This is the other side of the envelope. It was the flap of the envelope, and I sandwiched it between some pieces of notebook paper and then a piece of that vintage ephemera paper just to kind of make another flip. And you can see the envelope tab through there a little bit. I don't mind that very much, but it gives me a lot of writing space there. And then I have a cluster pocket right here where I folded the notebook paper up on the side to make a pocket, put the cluster on it. I have a little lizard and some beads pinned onto that. Lots of fun little things on this cluster. And then I made a bookmark with my alcohol ink digital paper, and then one of the vintage collage cards. I kind of cut it up really narrow, some coffee dyed paper, a little bit of space to write on the back, and some pretty trim. It's another little flap of the Collage Digitals. This I had a lot of fun with. So this is the flap of the collage envelope that I made coming over the top, and I turned that into a tuck. And all I've done is tuck in, this is a piece of coffee dyed paper with some stamping, you can write a little note on, and this is a piece of that crossword puzzle book tucked in there. I can actually work the crossword if I want to. It's the full page, front and back. So there's 2 puzzles there. And flipping that over, I'm gonna move this down a bit. The envelope flips up, and then I use the ribbon as kind of a pull. The cards that I put in there were a little small, and I thought they would get lost. So I wrapped the ribbon around so I could kind of pull them out and let it hang down. It's a decorative element. And I've got some of my vintage cards in there. And then I can just wrap that right back around and put it back in the envelope. Here I had a little set of kind of coaster doilies that I picked up at the thrift store. So I grabbed one of those and folded it over the top. I didn't want to cut it or anything. I thought that was a nice little element while still preserving somebody's handmade work there. And that made me happy with the colors, the yellowish orange combined with the yellow dye on the paper. Some more lace and collaged paper. Here I've got a couple of other items that I made. I have this journal card. I'm really happy with that, how that came out. And I love this trim. I use a lot of this trim throughout the journal. This is another thrift store find. And this is a little notebook. A note for you. I can kind of write on the inside there. This is a wax sealed sticker, and then I punched with the 2-inch circle punch with my digitals again, and then a piece of paper and washi tape, and just kind of layered up a fun little band there. I've got a pocket here where I can add some more goodies, which it's gonna make this journal even bigger, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? And even more of that trim, lots of that trim. Looks like I need to glue that down a little bit better. I will do that after I'm done making my video. Here I had fun. I've got a pocket here, a graph paper, made a little pocket, and then I did a little flip-flop moment right there like that. I added some more graph paper to the back. I just thought it was kind of a fun, interactive element. Can tuck some notes in there. And I have a little corner tuck pocket there. This fun tag. I love this kind of feathery ribbon. Here, this was from I did a video showing how to add more pages into your journal, and now I'm wondering if that was wise for this journal, how big it's gotten. And I was able to add this piece of paper in, and I did trim it. So now I've got all of this writing space. It flips all the way up. And I decorated this panel with some vintage ads and a stamp and a little scrap of paper with another stamp on it. And then this whole thing flips up to reveal another piece of the printable paper. And I've got this whole page here that I can write on as well if I want to. Here's the other half of the school paper. I did an okay stamping job. That one didn't come out so well. This is a really fun stamp though. It's kind of a stylized Queen of Hearts card. And I've tucked another one of my floral pieces in there and another vintage collage card. Another decorative edge on that page. This is the little book that I made. I call it a book, it's not really a book. It's a couple of coaster blanks that I stamped and collaged and did all kinds of fun stuff too. Added this ribbon and tucked it into this pocket made from my collage board. And then this flips up as well, coffee dyed paper. And some more of those digital collage papers. It's a little harder to see. Everything is angled in. We got to flip up here. I took a little punch out of the corner with one of my decorative edge punches, and I took some of the vintage lace and made a bow out of it to glue it on. And then this is the back of the journal, back cover. I have a double pocket here with the alcohol ink printable and my collage board. I did another button. There we go. Someone had written 1954, must have been the coin they had in there. Now it has my blue button. And I saved this box from the vintage seam binding tape. I tucked a piece of collage paper in there. I'm gonna leave it in, I'm not gonna pull that out. But there's plenty of room in here. I can add some more goodies. And one last little collage card. I love the palm trees, so I thought that would be, and the colors would be a lot of fun in this area. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this flip through of my collage journal. There are, I think, about 18 pages in this journal. It got really, really big. I did add some extra pages in, so I'm not entirely sure exactly how many are in here, and things did get quite bulky. I don't mind. That was actually my goal with this journal, was to let it kind of blow up a bit. So, mission accomplished. Remember that if you are interested in the principles that I use to make this journal, you can find those links in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my principles and more of my journals. I'll see you in the next video.